Hello guys, so in today's video we are gonna discuss Sova on Ascent, okay? It's gonna be very basic guide where I'll teach you the essence of Sova and how to play it on this map, okay? I'm not gonna teach you any fancy lineups because most of the guides on the internet have done that already, okay? And if you wanna learn lineups, you can just go on the website stats.gg and you'll get any lineup for any agent on any map, okay? So let's continue to the video. The first part is the B side with Sova, okay? The B site is very important on defense because this is the site where you are going to play the most of your time. Okay. The reason why Sova is so good on B side, one of the reason is that the meme is a really good source of information for defenders. Okay. And I'll tell you the reason as well. The simple answer is because let's assume that attackers wanna split from towards A, okay, from middle, or they wanna execute A from the middle, okay. They don't have to actually keep the aim in control. Why? Because it's gonna be so easy for them to execute. There is just, not much of a hurdle. And they just have a lot of cover onto the side, right? While executing. But if the opponents have to like execute towards B from middle, let's say from market, they have a lot of angles to clear, which is B main, close right left, first lane, stairs, button, the site, and then the boathouse as well, right? So if they really wanna execute B from middle, they need to have B main players, right? Other than if they don't have the B main players, you can just push up and you can have the space and now you have like a better position to play when they're executing B, right? So good teams or in good lobbies, if the opponents wanna execute B, either they'll be executing it from the B main, or even if they're splitting, they will always have someone towards B main, okay? So it's gonna be very efficient for you to play in B main and keep that information, okay? Second thing, because of the Sova kit, it's just so easy to play B, and with the Odin, okay? That's another reason why Sova is just so good on this side. Now, you should start using Odin first of all, okay? This is an insane weapon on this side, okay? I'll keep it fast and short, okay? The first thing is you can play in this position, okay? Basic, very basic, you can just spam them, you can just recon and spam them. If they start breaking that recon, you can start doing like this recon behind their back, so it would be harder for them to break, okay? And you can just spam them again. But this is a very common position and very easily counterable, okay? They can just counter spam you. So you can start playing here, okay? In this position, you can just mark beam and you can just, spam them. If you just do this in the early round, it would be very, very beneficial, I'm telling you. So initially you can just spam them, and when they're, trying to come in, either you can just recon and go for like another spam, or you can just go back and just play backside here, okay? If they're just coming really, really fast. Now, first of all, let's talk about the backside, okay? I've seen a lot of people playing like this, okay? This is a bad way to play backside with Odin, okay? You should start playing this angle, okay? This is a really good angle. Why? Because most of the people, when they execute into the B side, they pre-fire this spot, okay? And they come like this, okay? And they would never expect you into this position, okay? And this is a really, really strong angle with Odin. So you can just, as soon as you see them, you just start spamming. And even if they scale up on you, you still have a lot of cover, to hide. So this is a very good angle with Odin to anchor the site, okay? Now, we talked about the spam, right? Why you should, not always just spam from here, you should change your position. Just like that, there's another position which you can play, which is this, okay? You can also spam from this position into B-main, okay? This is gonna be really, really strong. You can just come here, you can just spam them, or you can just, when you hear them, you can just recon and spam them. And this is something which they're just not gonna expect. Even if you don't spam like with the recon, even if you just directly spam this, it's still gonna be so, you'll still get like a lot of kills. Why? Because this is the angle where the opponents actually scale up from, right? So if you just mark that on the map and you just spam that, you're just gonna get a lot of kills here, okay? So this is just another angle which they would just not counter spam, okay? Now, let's also discuss when you should be playing on the side, when you should be fighting like for the front side, and when you should be playing like backside, and when you should be just playing for retake, okay? The simple answer to this is if you have the rotations available, if you have people close enough, okay, somewhere here, you should not play on retake, you should not play on from CT, you should just play on side, okay? Now, if you don't have the people directly, on site fighting with you, you can just fall back when the opponents are executing. You can just fall back into this spot. The reason is because now the opponents are gonna, take all the time to clear all these angles and the side, and they will reach you the last, So that's just gonna buy a lot of time for you for the rotations, okay? And you can stay alive for a long period, okay? And you can even ask for like an omen smoke, so you can play around it, stuff like that. Or you can just play with Odin like I showed you, okay? Now, when should you be like fighting the front side? You should fight the front side when you just have like 2 to 3 people available with you. So let's say you have one person here somewhere, one person in market. Okay, if you have 3 people available, always fight for the front side. You'll usually have a smoke here from your omen, and there you should just fight. If you don't have enough people to fight, just go backside and wait for the rotation. Okay, but if the players are just very far away, like this, okay, on the map, you should just not play on site, you should just play for retake, okay? In a team environment, okay, even if let's say you guys are playing as 2 and B, even if you have the third player like that far, it's still okay to just go backside and play. Why? Because usually you'll have KJ mollies here, okay, to delay them. And your teammates are just gonna, leave everything and just rush for you to retake, okay? And usually maybe the queue can have like this flash going on from CT, right? So in a team environment, you can still play backside if your teammates are like, somewhere here. But in ranked environment, don't do that because they're just gonna be very late on the rotation. So if you don't have people really close, play from CT, okay? If you have rotations really close, play on site. If you have enough people, fight for this. If you don't have enough people, go here and just buy time for the rotation. Now this should clear most of the doubts on how to play Soba on this side, and how to stay alive for longer. Other things are very basic. You can just use chalk darts when they're trying to come in, very basic stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna cover that. The next thing I'm gonna cover when I rotate from B towards A. This is something which I really like to do. Okay, I just come here. Okay, you look at this cloud and you look that you see that cleavage over there. You just aim on top of that. Okay, and you just do like a 2 bar, and you just rotate. And when you like reach somewhere here, you can just see people and you can just spam them from heaven. Okay, sometimes the people will just hide in generators. Okay, then what you should do, so it's also very simple. Okay, you should just come here, do this recon while running, just mark this generators area, okay, like this. And if no one's spotted, you can just spam this point. Okay, if they're gonna be hiding here, they're just gonna die with the Odin. Okay, very basic, nothing complicated. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how you can help your mid players if you have like a recon available. Okay, simply there are like 2 main lineups. One is something which you can do from here. Okay, you see this, aim at the second but on top of it, one bounce and full charge and jump and throw. Okay, this is just gonna land in middle and it's just gonna be a good recon for your teammates, in the middle. The similar recon you can do from here as well. It's just gonna be a little bit risky because you have to peek a little bit here. You see those 2 huts, just aim on the middle of it and just do this recon. Okay, very basic, nothing complicated. Okay, one thing which you need to make sure whenever you drone for your teammates is that always scale the drone from the left wall. Okay, this is something I've seen like a lot of players doing wrong. Okay, the reason is because if you scale the drone from the middle, first you're not gonna get enough range. Second, the opponents can just peek and break the drone and escape, right? But if you just drone like this, they'll have to like literally white peek to actually break the drone. And if your teammate is scaling behind it, they're just gonna kill them, right? So the drone is very useful if you just wanna help your teammate to just scale up towards B-main, so they can scale up, get a fight, or just keep the space, so you can just early rotate. Okay, very simple, nothing over complicated. Okay, now while retaking, okay, you need to make sure, like in the previous video I made about Sova, is that you should be with your team whenever you do a recon, right? Because as a Sova, you should be going inside the site with your team. Okay, not far away from them. And I have seen a lot of players just do this recon. Okay, this recon, yes, it lands here, by the way. Yes, this recon is good. Okay, it scans everything. But in my opinion, it's just better to be with your team like this. Recon simply, it's not gonna reveal this, but it still reveal most of the part of the site, okay? And you can just enter at the same time with your team, okay? So you can jump in and you can just retake with your team at the same time instead of being, so many steps away from the team and just beating them into it, okay? Very simple. Now, one more thing, whenever you retake A with Sova, you should always be going from heaven, so it's easier for you to just recon, okay? If you go from short, it's gonna you have to like peek, to actually do like a good recon, okay? So most of the times you should be just retaking from heaven. Now, let's talk about, if you're playing on A, like what are the recons which you can do? Like very simple, okay? You can either do like this recon or you can do like this recon, okay? You don't have to learn anything more. It's very basic. It's a very basic agent, okay? Or there's a recon like this, which you can do. You can just come up here, okay? And you can just aim at the top right of the hut and you can just do like a 1 bar, okay? You can do this recon, it lands the fastest in aim in. The purpose is to reveal this box as well, okay? So let's say if your jet is like taking a one-way smoke and he's gonna like updraft into it, he can just spam both the boxes here, okay? It's a good play, good mini play, and for that, this recon will be the best, okay? In defense, again, these are the only things, okay? Nothing overcomplicated. In retake, you can just do like this recon, okay? Other than this, there is like nothing, okay? It's a very basic agent, okay? Now let's come towards attack, okay? The first thing whenever I attack in B, I make sure that I'm not running from here. I am taking like 2 steps behind because the opponents are just gonna do like a shock dart and then my drone will just cancel. Very basic, okay? Second thing, I usually will, recon first and I will just shock dart and be with my teammates while entering, okay? Again, very basic. But remember, this is something which a lot of players don't do. You need to shock dart the trips or the mollies from the way, okay? Even if you break one molly, it's still better for your team and they can just run through one molly. But if you don't break like any mollies for the team, and if the team is like running through 2 mollies, they're just getting like double damaged, right? So make sure wherever you go, you shock dart the entrances and you are with the team when the team is entering, okay? These are the 2 shock dart lineups which you can use to break the mid alarm bot, okay? Very basic, I'll just show you from mid link and from top mid, okay? You come here, okay? You see this leaf, just aim a little bit below it, okay? 1 bounce and 2 bar, okay? It's gonna land somewhere here. And the same shock dart you can do from top mid as well. You just come here, okay? You see this line. You aim at it like and just join it with the box. So a little bit here. 2 bounce and full charge. It's just gonna land at the same spot and it's gonna break the alarm bot. So you can do this sometimes to just kind of fake pressure that it's really good. But don't do this every round because if you do this every round, they just know it's like your usual thing, So in some rounds you can do this just to fake, Let's say you can take like the smoke, you can do like a basic recon here and you can do the same shock dart to show like a fake mid presence so that the rotations will take more time to rotate or they will just be like focused on this area and you can just execute, let's say A main or B main, okay? Very simple, nothing overcomplicated again, okay? Sova is a very simple agent. In A, the 2 most like important recons you need to know is this one. This is like a basic recon, a crane dart. You just come here, okay? You look at this and you just in like a full bar, it's gonna reveal everything. The reason, like, see, I always say that you should be with the team while entering, okay? So I'll tell you why I'm showing you like this recon. The reason for this recon is sometimes your jet will do like an updraft dash play with an omen blind, okay? That's a play which teams usually do when the opponents are fighting him in, So you can just take an omen blind and your jet can just instantly updraft and dash. And this recon is gonna be really, really good because it lands instantly and when your jet is just updrafting and dashing, and if someone is trying to run away, he's just gonna see them and he can just smoke himself and just spam them, So this is a really cool play, and this is the basic recon which is needed for that. Okay. Other than that, the basic recon would be like this only, which I showed in my previous video, so that you can enter with your team and just break the trips and the mollies. Okay. Now this is a recon which you can do. This is a good recon. Why? Because you're doing it just beside the entrance point, and you can enter with your team after this. Okay. So you come somewhere here. Okay. You look at the top right of this brick here. Okay. And you just one bounce and full charge. Okay. This is going to be the same recon, and with this you can just enter with your team at the same time. Again, no extra thing. Okay, very basic. Be with your team while entering. Be the second or the third entry. Okay, as soon as your jet is entering or your duelist is entering, don't be further back. Okay, very simple. This is still a recon which sometimes you can do. Okay, when you have all of your teammates going in. Okay, so you just aim your armor HP on this. Okay, and just do like one bar. Okay, with this recon, what you can do, you can just come here beside the cycle. You see this U thing, you can just do like a shock dart here. It's gonna land like behind the generators, and when people are gonna, like, to avoid it, they're gonna like run somewhere here. Then you can just do it like a bit above. Okay, very simple. But again, this is like a, don't do this always. If you have like four teammates going in from A main other than you, then maybe you can do this, because you don't need to, like, be with the team then, because you have enough people. So most of the times just be with the team. Okay, other than this, there's just, nothing else. Everything else is just, gonna be in stats.gg or in other guides where you can learn fancy recon lineups. Okay, this is the basic essence of Sova, how to play it on Ascent. Okay, I hope you like this video. Okay, if you did, please like and share this video, and comment down below if you have any suggestions or if you want any specific video. Okay, and subscribe to this channel for easy rank ups.